Hello, everybody. It is great to be here again today. My name is Gary Fowler, and I am the CEO, president, and co founder of GSD Get You Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in Palo Alto, California. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur. I've done 2 unicorns. I was on the original management team with Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company. It's great to be here again today. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about what's happening in Bangladesh by one of the gurus from Bangladesh, Nurul. Hi. Nurul's a private equity fund manager. He's a entrepreneur. He's an investor. He understands the ecosystem there and what it needs to take place to go global. So with that, I'd like to bring Nurul. Hi, Nurul. How are you today?
Hi, Gary. I'm fine. Thanks for inviting the show.
Yeah, it's good to have you here today. So tell me a little bit about it. So are you originally from, where are you from in Bangladesh originally? I know you went to the University of Dhaka, but are you from there originally, or where are you from? What city?
I'm originally from my hometown is in Hatia. It's a far city from Dhaka, but currently I'm residing in Dhaka.
And how is it there? What's it like? How's the ecosystem?
So I think, Gary, I think you have never visited Dhaka yet, but
I haven't yet, and hopefully once the coronavirus stuff settles down a little bit more, I'll get a chance because I love it.
right, right. It's a busy city, right? Like Tokyo or Calcutta. It's lots of traffic in the road and busy day. Even with Corona and everything, we're moving on.
That's amazing. So, what's it like in terms of the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem? How is it today, and what do you see?
That's an interesting question. Ecosystem actually developed a lot over the last, I think, 5 years or so. And as you have seen, like emerging markets, lots of challenges, troubles, and then companies get to a certain stage and develop to gradually scale up and move on. So Bangladesh is also experiencing the same thing right now, and hopefully it will be in a fast lane in the coming years.
That's super. And so, tell me a little bit about your journey. So, if you look at it, I know you went from university to being an analyst. How did you get to your current position as a vice president of SEAF? How did that come about?
Right. So it's a long career, like more than 12 years within investment and in research position. I started in Asian Tiger Capital Partners with a few of my colleagues and friends over there, and gradually moved on to different investment and research roles, starting from investment advisory, then capital market transactions, corporate development, strategy formulations. Gradually, I'm into private equity and impact investments, and which is going very good. And at this present time, it is very important for emerging markets like Bangladesh.
So, what do you mean by everybody's got a definition of impact? What's your definition of impact?
My definition is creating significant value to the entrepreneurs. By that, I mean not only developing the business, but also developing the entrepreneurs. So in emerging markets, you will see there are a lot of corporate governance issues, like starting from accounts and finance to like public reports and everything. So this takes time because companies gradually develops over time, and it takes time to move to a certain stage, to get some sort of development. It takes time. So Bangladesh gradually is moving to that right path, and I mean by impact, I mean creating some value to the business and to the entrepreneurs.
Got it. Because sometimes people talk about impact in different ways, right? So they talk about the climate, they talk about the social impact, et cetera. So how does it, how about unicorns? Are you seeing many unicorns from Bangladesh today? I mean, in terms of unicorns in waiting, if you will, are they started, and what kind of companies?
That's again a very good question, Gary, and I'm excited as well because Bangladesh is just moving to the right direction of having many unicorns in its portfolio. And I can see clearly, as I've seen, like over the last 5 years, there was hardly any unicorn from a startup, but gradually in the last 3 or 4 years, I can see at least 5 or 6 unicorns from Bangladesh. And over the next 10 years, I'm expecting many more to come. There are many reasons I can mention, like that may not cover in this short session,
Mhm.
but the basic reasons are this is a big market in Bangladesh. It's not a small country as it looks, like 170 million population, and growth is very good and resilient. So there are many issues I can discuss more further.
Well, how does it go then? So let's talk about the journey. Where does a unicorn from Bangladesh go? Do they stay in Bangladesh? Do they go to some other country? What happens with a unicorn? And who the ones that are uh, giving them the funding, the venture funding? Where are they
Right.
from?
So basically, there are a lot. The key thing is in Bangladesh, we are an emerging market like many other emerging markets. So we have some certain fundamental problems, and interestingly, these unicorns are solving these problems from the very beginning. That's what is needed, and like from financial inclusion, from fintech to you can see like many food and retailer companies. So this is a big market, as I've mentioned, like 117 million population with per capita income more than $2,500, and it's increasing. The good thing is the market is increasing, the income is increasing, and for inclusion, for food, for climate, as you have mentioned, many things are moving forward. So that's good, pretty good.
That's great. And so, but what kind of the startups that are out there? Are they in fintech or what are they in generally? What's a general? Are they AI companies or what do they look like?
I cannot say most of the companies are still at an advanced stage of AI, but definitely many companies have started. Like e-commerce companies are very good. The fintech companies, financial inclusion, as I mentioned, like these are solving the critical problems of Bangladesh, and gradually I can see these companies will have better technology in place, better people and management in place. So many development will happen. And as you wanted to know about like whether they are moving global or going global, that's another interesting thing, Gary. I'm seeing that they're going global, some of the companies, and due to the specialization expertise within Bangladesh, these companies are ready to go global. And I'm sure many of the companies, like their parent companies to some state and a subsidiary in other place, and moving to other countries where the market actually needs that kind of products or solution, that will come around. Yeah.
No, that's great. And you know, what's it like for a startup in Bangladesh? Do you have like in Silicon Valley we have WeWork facilities, places where people can work together. What's the ecosystem look like? I mean, how does a do they congregate together? I know when I was in Russia, we jump started the ecosystem there, and we started entrepreneurs clubs and that kind of thing. What's it like in Bangladesh?
I will term it like semi-organized. And it's sweet. Like as you have said, in Silicon Valley, it's organized, it's standardized. But in Bangladesh, we have seen like the sweetest thing is entrepreneurs are actually connected. Many of there is an association of a PBC association, then angel investor association. There are many association groups that entrepreneurs come and get to know each other, and this is yet to get in a standardized or formal manner. But over the years, I can see there will be very fundamental development, and I can see Silicon Valley type development, like the standardized associations and the standardized benefits that the entrepreneurs and the technology, they are getting everything. So we are actually moving that path gradually, not now, but hope surely we will move forward that path. So like as you've seen the development in Singapore, development in even Indonesia, I think similar development will gradually take place in Bangladesh.
Yeah, that's amazing. How's the standard of living? Is the standard of living going up? How is it right now? Do you see that?
Uh, About which section you are
Just in
referring?
general, how's the standard of living right now? Is it going up? Because as what we saw in Russia, or I had seen, is a standard of living would go up based on the economy as it starts to mature. Is it like that in Bangladesh today, from your perspective?
It's a very broad topic actually. Standard of living depends on few issues. Like our per capita income has increased, but as I've mentioned, as a developing nation, we are still facing some challenges. So it will be in the right path in the coming years. But like many emerging markets, in the shorter term we'll face many challenges. In the longer term, we'll face many opportunities and issues. So over the years, I'm sure many standard of living and per capita income, then many things will improve. But the critical thing, Gary, what the emerging markets, we are talking, I think, from two parts of the world. So my part currently is facing many countries like India, Sri Lanka, Vietnam. Many of the South Asian or Southeast Asian countries are facing commodity price increase. Then overall price increase, inflation is a problem. As you have seen, like oil price increased earlier, although
Yeah,
it
well,
decreased.
that's happening here too. Just so you know, I mean, it's not just limited to there. We're
Right,
seeing food prices and we're seeing gasoline prices. I mean, just
right,
across the board. And in
hmm,
fact, the only thing that I've seen recently that hasn't increased was a pair of speakers I bought for my computer from that were the same price as they were last year. But it's the only thing that I've recently seen. Whether it's I mean, all kinds of things. Literally across the board. Bike parts you can't get like you
right,
could a couple of years ago. The prices of bikes have gone up 15%, sometimes
right.
30%.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're seeing those kind of increases. But I mean, this is part of the challenge we have with inflation, right? Today.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely. The main challenge is like inflation is currently below 6%, but it won't remain this level because prices are moving up, as you have mentioned.
No, no,
And
same here. I mean, I talk to people all over the world. I mean, we're not alone in this. But I mean, the other thing is we got to figure out how to work together. Seriously, we
mm,
got a whole lot of problems to solve. A few weeks ago, I spoke at the United Nations, and my topic was technology is a tool for peace. I mean, we got to seriously with all the global warming problems, the population challenges, population going from 8.1 billion to 13 billion by the end of the century. By 2050, we're going to have to double the food supply to feed everybody, and we can't increase the number of livestock because of the methane gas, et cetera. They're
right,
26% of the pollution problem, and we got to
right,
figure out. We need alternative fuel. I mean, we can't. What did Elon Musk say recently? He said it's not if we run out, right, of hydrocarbons. It's when, exactly when, and it's not too far in the future. So we got to figure out ways to, and burning wood and those kind of things may not be the right thing because we're going to pollute the planet even worse. So we got to figure out how to work together to solve these problems.
right, right, right. And the good part is, I think, as you've asked, like for Bangladesh, inflation will be high going forward, but the growth is also high. The real growth is also good, and the better part is the growth is resilient. Like when the COVID hit very hard, our growth rate was more than 5%. While I didn't see any of the other countries had in the positive territory in South
Oh,
Asia.
that's amazing.
So that actually reveals how resilient are as an economy, and if we can maintain this of many challenges like socio-political, socio-economic challenges, if we can maintain this, then the resilience will be even better.
That's great. And what about what's the hot industry? I mean, the hottest industry is it still like garments and textiles? Is that hot, or what's hot right now? Would be you could say the top three industries.
The major industry in Bangladesh is actually garments and textile, and many other large industries are moving coming up. Like the pharmaceutical is a very big industry currently. Then the leather footwear market is coming up. Then food, dairy, many sector I can talk about. Like Bangladesh have plenty of sectors. And interestingly, the in terms of growth, the IT and IT-enabled service and IT-related companies are having the fastest growth rate here, including also e-commerce.
Now that's great. And What markets do they serve? So you got the Bangladesh. Do you serve other markets? Indian market? I mean, is it where? What markets do you serve? So if you're in Bangladesh, you're an e-commerce company. Which markets would you serve? Just Bangladesh, the Bangladesh.
Currently Bangladesh only, but as you have said, like moving forward, I can see few of the companies will go global. Like one of our ride sharing companies here went to Nepal. Earlier it was in Bangladesh only, so covering both countries. And I can see many of the food retail companies, they will be in many other countries as well. So the companies will go global gradually because they have the expertise, the tech team, the technology, everything here.
So tell me a little bit about, I know you're with a C. Tell me a little bit about the kind of companies that you're investing in. How you say high growth SMEs. So, climate change, food insecurity, um, lack of inclusion. Can you give me some examples? Would be interesting.
Sure. So from the very beginning, like CIF is a old company, operating more than 30 years, around more than 20 countries worldwide. And I can see from the very beginning, they have focused on, yeah, like food security, climate change, and inclusion. So on climate change, there are many issues. Like there is climate change adaptation and also mitigation. So CIF is focusing on both the issues from the very beginning. And on the food security, it's also very pressing challenge, especially in the emerging markets. So since CIF operates in the emerging markets, food security somewhat is very important for CIF. And inclusion, by inclusion I mean like the access to many things to the underserved people. Like you can see the healthcare, the education, then financial inclusion things are not as par like the developing nations. So CIF is also focusing on these in inclusion aspects as well. I can provide many examples, like on climate change, it could be solar or renewable power projects, then agri processing companies which are related to climate adaptive technologies, and also some water treatment kind of solution is also important for Bangladesh. And I can see like the recycle thing. There are many waste, plastic, and many things are here. So recycle thing is very important for Bangladesh as well. On the food security, yeah.
Are you seeing like electric vehicles? Are you starting to see more electric vehicles? How is that? Like not just cars, but scooters and you know uh, bicycles. Do you see that increase or not?
Yeah, that is coming up. And as an investor, I'm very interestingly looking at it. So hopefully, I'll be able to at least see a couple of companies that are moving forward to looking for funding. And since Bangladesh is a big market in terms of vehicle industry, so I think like the as you have mentioned, the electric vehicle market will be big as well here. Like what is happening in
I think it would be huge. I mean, it's got to happen, right? I know over here we started 6 years ago. We started doing. Well, I remember when the first Roadster. I saw the Tesla Roadster, one of the original stores on 101 near Palo Alto, and people said, "Oh, nobody's going to ever buy those Teslas. Why would somebody want a Tesla? That guy's crazy." And here we are, right? The world's changed. And the
yeah,
same thing with bikes. I mean, 6 years ago, hardly anybody had electric bikes. Now the situation, you see them all over the place. I mean, it's very, uh,
absolutely.
and that's a good thing because you can use them in
Yeah.
all kinds of ways.
The key thing would be, Gary, I think the cost of the vehicles. Like initially, if it is high, we'll need some technology to bring these costs down, right? So that it can be affordable to the rural people and also people at the end, at miles ahead from the cities. Yeah.
No, you're right about that. And as the population, as the economy starts to expand, you're going to see all kinds of changes taking place, right? You're going to see these vehicles. You're going to see all kinds of other, it seems like today, the more we have, the more we start to think about the impact we're having on our planet. So tell me about that. Tell me about, you talk about food insecurity. What are you looking at right now? What's interesting for you?
Food security is a challenge for Bangladesh and like many of the South Asian emerging markets. So we are mainly looking at agriculture processing type of companies. We have invested few here already, and we look seriously like the safe, nutritious food companies. Those can have large distribution channel, a strong network throughout the country. So that will be very interesting. And any kind of agri processing product like that will add some value to the company and to the society as a whole. That would be very interesting.
Interesting. And then what about climate change? What are you doing there? What are you looking at to
We
invest
have
in?
already invested in solar companies here in Bangladesh. We have that experience, and we are looking into many more projects coming up. Like there will be industrial rooftop solar. There will be many climate related projects as well. I didn't see many of the hybrid like wind kind of solutions here because Bangladesh is not as much windy as Sri Lanka or other countries like
Mhm.
Nepal. They have hydro solutions. So we don't have hydro solutions here, but solar is a big market, and the government has put plan to like scale up the solar projects in the coming years. So that will be a huge thing going forward for Bangladesh.
Do you manufacture the solar panels or do you buy those solar panels? Who makes them? Where are they made? Do you know?
No, solar panels basically those are imported from outside. But
Got it.
the thing is, there should be some value. Like the solar should be stored, and excess energy should be transferred to the grids or to the rural people. So the technology will be the key thing. How much energy we are preserving and how much we can providing to the rural people. So that will be the key thing.
No, that's great. I love it. I know that there's a lot of focus on Bangladesh and what is it? Anna's from Pegasus is originally from Bangladesh, and a good one of his partners and a friend of his, Bill Reckett, is a good friend of mine. So I mean, I'm really excited about what's happening there. You're doing a great job. We just got to
Yeah.
get a lot more visibility for those companies and get more unicorns. I mean, it's all about what we can do, and it's like the a tidal wave coming in. It starts to really generate a lot of interest and activity, and it's amazing what you're doing. So we're coming up to the top of the show. Closing thoughts and where can people reach you?
So you wanted to know detail about some background of Bangladesh and what's happening here?
No, I'm
Maybe.
just saying closing thoughts from your standpoint. Closing thoughts. We're coming to the
Okay.
end of the
Okay.
show,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
how do people get a hold of you?
So I think for Bangladesh, many things will develop, and like the emerging markets, as you have seen, many development around other markets. So here, since there are some fundamental challenges, as I mentioned, like inflation and other things, are coming up. So these will be very critical to handle in the coming days. And as we have discussed, Gary, we'll see like many technology related development in the coming years, and these will be led by interestingly some of the very bright minds in Bangladesh. Like what kind of development you have seen in India back in 1990s or so, like the people went abroad and they come back and contributed to the nation. Similar thing of development is happening here in Bangladesh. So I think for growth and development, we are very resilient. Um, we have many challenges, as I mentioned, socio-political and also inflation and other things. It's just part of the emerging markets, as I've seen like other markets. This will comply, and hopefully we'll see better results in the coming days. But for Bangladesh, I think the technology, the bright minds, the big consumer markets here, and also since we are very open to other nations, we're open for business. As you are seeing, many countries are now currently investing in Bangladesh. So FDI level won't be such level in the coming years. We'll see many folds increase of FDI after 5 or 6 years. So that's the key thing. What happened in even Vietnam, like they had a very good FDI income, but current Bangladesh we couldn't do much development earlier, but currently we are seeing many development, especially after the post-COVID scenario. So the critical thing is how we will handle this situation, how we are, bringing these innovation and technologies to outside, and how we are going global to other countries as our expertise and our experience to share with other countries. So that's it. I think bright days are ahead, and just we need to manage our challenges. That's it.
How do people get a hold of you?
Sorry.
LinkedIn, Twitter. What's the best way to get a hold of you? LinkedIn, Twitter, email.
I'm mostly available in Facebook and LinkedIn, and most people, like my friends and colleagues, mostly uses like Facebook and LinkedIn. These are very popular in Bangladesh.
Okay, super. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to join me today, Nurul. To my audience out there, my name is Gary Fowler, and I am the host of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. Thank you for joining my show. We'll be back again on Thursday with another exciting edition of GSD
Thanks.
Presents. And again, stay safe, stay happy, and most importantly, stay healthy. Stay tuned, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks, Noro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.